keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe.
Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you 5 really fast, really inexpensive Christmas decor ideas that you can whip up in just one weekend. Like all 5 of them, really, while crushing an entire season of Raising Dion, which is fabulous, by the way. Let's get started. First up are these adorable topiaries in these buckets. I went Christmas shopping with my mom and we went to HomeSense and I fell in love with these like twigs in a bucket. That's what I'm calling it, twigs in a bucket, but it was $80. One trip to the dollar store. Each of these was only $22 to make, and it was so simple.
I already had these galvanized buckets, so Milo and I painted them white with some dollar store craft paint, and I had some foam balls from a craft that I never did, so I'm using that instead of floral foam. I went to Dollarama and found so many different greenery sprigs and different things to fill it up, and they were $1.25 each, and the selection was amazing. So I just stuck them into the foam, a couple little pine cones, some gold and some white. I didn't do the back because it was going to be against my fireplace. Anyways, it definitely saved some money.
I love the way these turned out, and I love them even more because I made them. That's the power of little DIY projects. Not only do you end up with something really beautiful, but you have pride in yourself that you created it. Next, I wanted to make chunky blankets. I see chunky blankets everywhere. They're really expensive. I've watched so many tutorials, and I wanted to try arm knitting, mostly because I was laying in bed recovering from surgery and insanely bored. So I bought a bunch of wool. I bought some from the dollar store, some from Michael's because it was on sale, and I started arm knitting. Arm knitting is terrible if you have ADHD and you're claustrophobic, because like 15 minutes in, I was going batty and I was stuck with the wool on my arms and I was starting to like sweat and hyperventilate and I had a panic attack and I ripped it all off. So I watched a tutorial from Do It on a Dime. Catherine is amazing, and this tutorial is so amazing because you can start it and walk away and it doesn't have to like contain you with the arms. It's so simple and fast and easy. You can have a blanket in 15 minutes. I'm gonna show you how I made mine, but I'm also gonna put a link to Catherine's video down below because her tutorials is gonna be better.
So to create your blanket, start by making a circle and then pulling a loop through that circle, pulling tight to create a knot. Now you want to grab your wool and pull it through that little loop you just made, creating a second loop the same size, and doing this again and again and again 20 times. This is creating your first chain. Now to create your second chain, you want to pull that wool through the top loop of your chain, creating small little loops. Again, you're going to want 20 of these, and it's so important to try to keep them all the same. When you reach the end, you want to create a loop inside another loop to go up 2, so you can start the next level, the next chain of your blanket, pulling the wool through the loop all the way to the end. When you run out of wool, simply tie the new ball of wool to your old one and continue making your loops until the blanket is the size you want. To finish your blanket, you want to make a loop and then pull it through the inside of the loop behind it. Take your wool, pull it through the loop, and then pull it through the inside of the loop behind it. This is called casting off, and when you're done, simply tie a knot to finish your blanket.
After becoming a little obsessed with making chunky blankets, I needed something to put my chunky blankets on, so I decided to make a DIY blanket ladder. I know, I'm a little late to the party, like by 2 years. Everyone's made these and done tutorials on them, but I haven't made one yet. So I went to my local hardware store. I got 3 2x2s. They were only $2.50 each. I had them cut 15 inches off the top of 2 of them, and then the remaining one I had them cut into equal 15-inch rungs. So I had 6 15-inch rungs, and then I tried to like just guess you know, the spacing, and then that wasn't working, so I used a measuring tape and I marked them off 9.5 inches in between each rung with a pencil and then drilled them together. I used a little bit of wood glue, like a tiny bit, just for secure, not like anyone's climbing this beast, but I did it anyways. You guys, somebody made a ladder, and it was me. That's a little dark. Oh, I'm just talking to myself. Ah, I need an old sock. Too dark. No. Ah, dang it. Here's what we can do. You ready? Da 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 da. Oh man. It's like I never even stained it. Put it to the back. This is probably my favorite DIY project I've ever done. It's so pretty. It's like 10 minutes to make, and again, just like, look what I made. I probably said this 1,000 times to my husband. Look what I made all by myself. Suck it, Joe. Next, I wanted to add a little Christmassy stuff to my, it's like if you give a mouse a cookie, you make a blanket, then you need a blanket ladder, and now my blanket ladder was looking a little bare, so I needed a wreath for my blanket ladder. So I went to Michael's. They were buy one, get one free for these basic, plain, boring wreaths. So they came out to $12 each, and I went to the dollar store and I found lots of little white things to add to them. I really recommend going with symmetry when adding things to your wreath. So whatever you add on one side, add the same on the opposite side, and so on and so forth, so that it looks symmetrical. It's a really easy, simple way to make a beautiful wreath. And now that I have this beautiful Christmas blanket ladder that's really rustic looking, it totally didn't match anything else in my house. So I needed to make a new sign for above my fireplace with the same wood tone. I went on Pinterest, I fell in love with this gorgeous farmhouse sign, but I decided I could make it. I used my Cricut to cut out the words that I wanted, which is there's no place like home for the holidays. I laid it out over the foam board in the way that I wanted, and I attached it with the transfer tape, and then I put together a basic frame, not with angles, just 4 straight cuts, stained it the same way I did my ladder, flipped it over, and staple gunned my foam board onto the back. So this again cost me $3.50 to make because I already had the vinyl and the Cricut and the wood and the stain. I completed all 5 of these projects on a Saturday while watching Netflix. So I hope you're feeling inspired. I'm gonna put a link down below to Do It on a Dime's video of how she made these chunky blankets, which are amazing. She also made a DIY ladder, so I'm gonna post that in the comments below because she describes things way better than I do. But I did want you to be inspired to go to your local dollar store or hardware store and really get out of your comfort zone and create something homemade for your home this holiday season. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for those of you who have stayed to the end. So I've talked about my family, my mom and my grandma family before, and just they're weirdos. Like, I come from a long line of flighty weirdos who are constantly doing really embarrassing things, and we just don't think with our brains sometimes. I'm not saying that we're not intelligent. There's all different kinds of intelligence, just that we do a lot of stupid things. And so my mom doesn't watch this video, so it's fine that I share this, but we went Christmas shopping and we were at the mall and we went to the food court, and I was trying to convince her to go outside of her comfort zone because she always orders like burgers, or like she eats like spaghetti and really basic foods, doesn't try anything even reasonably out of her comfort zone. So she got a shawarma, okay, which is not that exotic, but they wrap it in tin foil because it's very messy, and they told her you have to peel. She's like, how am I gonna eat this? So you peel down the tin foil and you take a bite and you keep peeling the tin foil. Obviously she was just eating the tin foil, and of course she was, because it reminded me of the last time we went to someplace a little different. We went to this really upscale coffee shop for her birthday, and she got a wrap, and it was like a fancy coffee shop, like a hipster coffee shop, so she was definitely out of her comfort zone. And we all got wraps. We were talking and eating. My grandma was there. We were, and after a while, my mom's making like the weirdest faces and kept asking for more water. And I was like, "How's your wrap, Mom?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's got a really flaky crust. Like, are you guys enjoying yours?" Because we all got the same thing. And we were like, "Yeah, it's good." And I really looked. She didn't take the wax paper off. And she didn't just have a couple bites, like she ate the whole thing with the wax paper on it because she didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings or say anything or point out that it didn't taste right. Oh my gosh, my mom's gonna stick to burgers for life. And let me know in the comments below if you come from a long line of weirdos. Let me know, maybe it's just my family, but I doubt it. See you guys next time.